All right. Thank you, all of our watchers and press, for tuning in to our first live stream of the Woman of the Year press conference. Good. Our honoree has endured her roast and has been awarded her pudding pot. With no further ado, let me introduce Hasty Pudding Theatricals 2017 Woman of the Year, Octavia Spencer.
Thank you, babe.
Got it?
Oh, wow.
So we'd like to open the floor to the press. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to start with? Yeah.
Octavia, this is a huge prestigious award. How did it feel to be awarded with the pot?
I have to tell you, it was a great surprise. I mean, it's up there with one of the big surprises and most humbling.
You got a huge week, Oscar nomination, and now this. I mean, did you ever think this would happen?
Absolutely not. I mean, Oscar nominations, that's what we do. We work in film, and there's a possibility, practically never, that you're going to get nominated for an Oscar. And then to find out a week ago that I would be coming here and celebrating with you guys, these young people. It's just, this is overwhelmingly fun.
Which was more difficult to earn, the Oscar or now the pot?
That pot was hard to get. It was difficult to get, but it is one that will be forever indelibly etched in my memory. This has just been just so much fun today.
Where is it going?
Well, it'll go up there next to all of its cousins. See, the awards are all related. It'll be up there with the rest of them.
Octavia, what's it like being able to play such inspiring roles? We talked to some of the fans outside, and they said that's why they showed up here to see you.
Oh, that's, that really touches my heart because I have the luxury now of getting to choose the things that or the characters that I play. And one of the things that I like to do is choose movies that, will allow for a little escapism, but also educate while entertaining. And I think Hidden Figures does that on so many levels. So to be nominated for an Oscar for that role, a woman who, not knowing her story, Dorothy Vaughan, now knowing her story, it's one of those things that's surreal, but I think she might be up there, working on my behalf with my mom, probably an angel on my shoulder now.
Octavia, hi. So Juliet from People Mag.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. In Hidden Figures, you play a trailblazing woman, and as you know, we've just lost another female
Mary Tyler Moore.
What are your thoughts on her legacy?
I think Mary Tyler Moore changed the face of how we view women and how we view independent women. It's definitely a loss for the entertainment community as well as the public at large because she shaped a generation of independence, and she will definitely be missed.
You're going to be part of a panel with Gloria Steinem next month. So can you tell me a little bit about that? What are you hoping to talk about?
I think when we talk about feminism today, we have to also include intersection of all women and how important it is for all women, transgender women as well. That's new, and it's our sisters, and we have to get on one accord and fight for all of us. So it's going to be very interesting to hear her point of view and how it pertains to my industry. So I'm excited about it. I will walk away from that educated as well, but hopefully I will lend a voice that will further demonstrate the plight of women of color. And women of color to me is not relegated just to African American women. I'm talking about Asian women, I'm talking about Latin women, Indian women, women of color.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Taiwo Man from Taiwo TV.
Hi.
Do you have a role what's your dream role?
My dream role is that of a producer, a woman behind the scenes who creates roles for diversity in film. And when I say diversity, I mean I want to see women of all shapes and sizes, people of all shapes and sizes, people with disabilities. It's about creating a landscape that demonstrates what our society is as a whole. And I think homogeneity is not conducive to what we see around us. So my job as a producer is to be to have inclusion.
Yeah, back there.
Men have to hire us. So I think it's just having that dialogue. And I don't think men actively, the decision makers who are male, are actively saying, we got to keep the women out. I just think that when they have their list of people in front of them, if there's not a person that's saying, hey, what about this woman or this woman who has the same qualifications as some of the men, they get overlooked. So as a female who's African American, who is also a producer, it's my job to make sure I voice those opinions. And women also have to ask for what they want. Sometimes they're going to say no, but all we need is one yes. So, thank you.
Yeah, right here.
To book on that, does this desire to go into producing stem all the way back to your work behind the camera, working and casting before A Time to Kill, or is it more recent?
I actually wanted to be a producer before an actor because my mom was very practical, and there's only a small percentage of actors who actually get to make their living at it. So it was about being able to provide for myself. But an artist is an artist, and I like what I do in front of the cameras, but also the businesswoman in me wants to make sure that I try to make everything a level playing field while presenting projects that are inspiring in some way, educational in some way, but lucrative. You know, I'm a businesswoman.
Yeah.
You got to hit Kellyanne Conway, or a student dressed as Kellyanne Conway with a pie. How did that feel?
I was in the moment. It was in the moment. Listen, we have a new president, and I'm waiting for him to demonstrate that he will be the president of all of us, of these United States. So in that moment of levity, I've enjoyed giving her the pie. But, you know, she's a woman, and she needs to understand why women are speaking out in fear of some of the rights we've already litigated now being revisited. So that is a big question mark for a lot of us.
Some have called the Hasty pudding as quote-unquote elitist. As an actress who's known for advocating for more diversity in Hollywood, what do you think about your role as Woman of the Year to an organization that's just recently allowed women to audition?
Well, I'm one of those people, I look at things as they are, and their history might be that of elitism, but hello, they just brought me into the fold, so they can't be that elitist. And I also think we have to give credit where credit is due. The only way to bring about change is to take that first step, and I think they've taken those first steps, you know, a while ago, because, you know, they've had, I'm like number 67, Woman of the Year,
Yep.
what am I? So that's a lot of steps, and we have to applaud them for that.
And you're in the company of Elizabeth Taylor, Kerry Washington, I mean, Lucille Ball. How does that make you feel?
Great. Wonderful. I mean, this is, again, it's so humbling. It came out of left field, and when I revisit this day in my mind, you always think of, oh, I should have said this and I should have said that. The fact that I'm here and that I'm being honored by this prestigious institution with all these young people who will go out into the world and change lives and make differences. For this moment, I'm here with them, and we are we're enjoying our time together, and hopefully it's something that we'll all look back on fondly. I know I will.
Yeah.
You said that acting wasn't your first choice. How did you end up in acting?
Well, it's not that it wasn't my first choice. It's my DNA. Have you not seen me? I'm a smoked ham. That's what I do. I remember watching my first movie when I saw E.T. and saw, you know, Drew Barrymore, and she got to interact with E.T. I thought that's something I want to do. I want to live that type of life and do that as a job, especially when I realized people made a living at it. But bringing art does influence life, and sometimes it's easier to take the message through an artistic endeavor. So rather than preach it to people, I'd like to teach it to people. And by teaching it, I think when you view it, somehow the message gets through. So I think that's what it is. It's just a part of my DNA. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Is there any advice you give to young women of color aspiring to pursue a career in the performing arts?
Train. It's like being a boxer. It's like being a runner. It is not, let's just say runner, because it's a better, it's better anecdote. It's a long haul. It took me 15 years to become an overnight success. So know that you have to buy a good pair of sneakers and train. But if you stay in the game long enough, you will win. You will win a race. The question is, will you be persistent at it? Thank you. Oh, that's a pot of gold. So I don't think I'll put anything in the pot. Maybe I used to, every year, instead of doing what is that word when you, resolution. Instead of doing a New Year's resolution, I now just use one word and apply it to my whole life. And whenever a decision or comes up, I always will invoke that word. So maybe I'll just write that word down and put it in the pot.
What was your word for this year?
I never divulge the word. But know that it is a word.
Any other questions?
The Oscars, this will be your second time there. How is it different for you going for a second time?
Oh man, the first time I had no idea what was happening. The second time I was a nervous wreck. I watched the first time. I was terrified to watch the second time. Because the first time I watched, there was one square and a couple of names that could have been called, and my heart was beating like, oof. So I didn't want to put myself through it. But of course, I was wide awake and terrified that it took forever for the phone to ring. But then I realized there were quite a few people whose phone didn't ring. So to be counted among this year's people who've been singled out for this role, for this group of people that we're portraying, it is sweeter the second time around. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to win. Viola Davis is going to win.
So with an eye on being able to be in the producer spot and highlight stories that maybe aren't being told and seeing how many people are responding well to Hidden Figures, are there any stories out there like that that you want to be able to bring to the spotlight in the same way?
Absolutely. I think Madam C.J. Walker is a huge figure in our the African American community, and I'm so thrilled to be playing her. And I can't wait to tell you who we're partnering up with, but we're not telling you yet. No, we're not telling you yet. But it's big. No, we're not going to say it. Okay.
Looked over there.
That's my agent. He's keeping me honest. All right.
Any thoughts on the women's rallies in Washington? Do you take part? Or...
I was actually sick, and I'm just now getting over, so I'm sorry if I kissed you guys today.
We won't be.
I don't think I'm contagious anymore. You know what? I am. It gave me a new sense of hope, a very renewed sense of hope, because it brought a lot of people together, and we all have the common goal of keeping America that's already great, great. So I'm excited that women came together, and we came together with various communities, and that's what we should be doing. We should be civically active.
Yeah.
What projects are you working on now, or are you planning on working on in the future?
What projects am I working on now? Well, quite a few, but we're doing Jonestown with Vince Gilligan and Michelle McLaren and Madam C.J. Walker. I have 3 films that are opening. We are doing The Shack is opening in March, and then after the Shack is Gifted. And then we are taking Small Town Crime to South by Southwest. So it's about opening those movies for me first, and then going into production on a few things that we have coming down. But the first thing is more than likely going to be Madam CJ.
Can we take one or two more questions anyone have? I also have some questions from online viewers.
You're sitting next to an Elvis impersonator and a cowardly lion. So on that note, I was curious, you just did a film with Guillermo Del Toro,
Yes.
who does often things like that.
Yes.
So I was wondering what that experience was like.
Can't you tell I'm quite at home with these guys? It's wonderful. Guillermo Del Toro is, is an icon and one of the most brilliant minds. I mean, he's one of those people, if you asked him about anything, it might even seem innocuous. He knows a lot about it. If you went up to him and asked him about a butterfly, he would tell you the whole story of how butterflies began. I am thrilled to be a part of his next project because I feel that it's a return to what we know and love him for. And it's a great cast. So these guys are making me smile.
Of all the roles you've had, which one was the most
Playing God was the most challenging because as actors, we draw on, for me, I draw on life experience. And I mean, to play God, it's like, oh my God, I fought for the role, and then it's like, what do I do with it? I'm going to call Morgan Freeman. I really have no idea what to do. And then I realize as God, how he pertains to me in my life. Playing God, seeing Sam Worthington's character as my son, as God as a father, then we are his children. And that was the way I was able to break through on, oh my God, what do I do? I don't know how to play this role. But it is always challenging to do any period movie. So playing Dorothy Vaughan, playing Minnie Jackson, playing Zelda in the Guillermo Del Toro movie is difficult because as an African-American woman, I get to revisit the 60s. And who wouldn't want to do that? Not me. But not because I actually try to really immerse myself in the time period. And as you all know, it was a very tumultuous time in our nation's history. And every day it feels like we're on the precipice of redefining who we are. And here we are again at that turning point. So I feel grateful that as an actor I get to face those challenges and have breakthroughs as a person. So, yeah, I think all of those people, God and all the women that I've had to play that were period people. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. That's all we have time for today. And thanks to our viewers. Please join us at 8:30 p.m. on Friday for our press conference with our Man of the Year, Ryan Reynolds.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I left the
67, is that correct?
67th Woman of the Year. Yeah. So you guys want to take a photo and then we'll head out.
Yes. Oh, well, we didn't get to any of your online questions. I feel bad.
I know. We ran out of time.
All right. I'm sorry, honey. I talk a lot.
So we can do a photo op over there and then.
All right.
Lots downstairs.
It's okay.